All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Just wanted to bring you up to date here on Monday. It's kind of difficult to believe, but in less than 48 hours, we've been able to thankfully shift the discussion of Ricky Pearsall from one of life and death to now, thankfully, football. 49ers are off today. They return to practice on Tuesday. They have a day off on Wednesday, and then they begin their prep, their normal weekly routine to prep for the Monday Night Football game, week one, Monday, September 9th, against the New York Jets. As you all know by now, Ricky Pearsall has been discharged from the hospital. And immediately after the shooting, he was videotaped walking and talking to first responders. His mother that evening or early the next morning said that a bullet went straight through him without it hitting any vital organs, which means he did not require surgery. So miraculously, he was discharged from the hospital 21 hours after he was shot during that armed robbery attempt. Now, as far as what's been going on since then, I know he's back home, he's resting. His mom and dad flew into San Francisco and arrived with a police escort Saturday evening at San Francisco General Hospital. That happened like I showed up, and a minute later, here comes a police escort and some of Ricky's family. Of course, the 49ers had high hopes and continue to have high hopes for Pearsall, taking him in the first round of the NFL draft. And honestly, nothing has changed in that regard. And I think everybody can assume that Pearsall is now focused on doing what he loves to do, and that's playing football. As far as the immediate future, I don't think anything has been decided, nor does it have to be decided, today, tomorrow, whenever. There's going to be such questions that'll be answered in the coming days, such as, when he might be able to resume his football activity, when he could be cleared to practice, and then, when he could play. So all those scenarios will certainly be answered and addressed in the future. 49ers could keep him on their 53-man roster for now. And if they do that, that would suggest that they would expect him to be available to play in fewer than 4 weeks. If they opt to place him on injured reserve, that means that he would be ineligible to play in the next 4 games, but could be cleared and return to play anytime after that. The 49ers are in a position where they don't need to rush anything, and Pearsall doesn't need to rush anything. They can really work on a schedule that best suits him. And the team is pretty well covered at the wide receiver position. So there's just certainly no rush for anything. Brandon Aiyuk's future now with the team is no longer in question. Of course, he signed that multi-year extension last week. And so with that, the 49ers are assured of returning their top 3 wide receivers from last year: Brandon Aiyuk, Deebo Samuel, and Jawan Jennings. And the team's 4th receiver appears to be Chris Conley, veteran guy. He really earned his way onto the team during training camp with that combination of being a reliable backup wide receiver as well as a core special teams player. Now, if you recall last year, he only had 3 catches during the regular season, but in the playoffs, he really stepped up, not only on special teams, but a couple of big plays on offense, including a 17-yarder late in that game against the Packers on the final drive when the 49ers went down for the game-winning touchdown. The 49ers' 5th receiver on game days would appear to be rookie Jacob Cowing. He's a speedy slot guy, but right now he certainly appears to be in line to be their number 1 punt returner to open the year. So 49ers also have Ronnie Bell on their 53-man roster. He spent all of last season on the team's 53-man roster, of course. And then on the practice squad, they have Trent Taylor, Tabe Martin, and then Terrace Mitchell. He's a 2nd-round pick of the Panthers a couple of years ago. He was among the team's final cuts last year. Never really caught on whether he was misused with the Panthers or what. He's a talented guy, so the 49ers are giving him a shot on their practice squad. So before the shooting on Saturday, it certainly looked like Pearsall was on pace to be available for the week 1 game. Uh, just a recap, he showed up for training camp with a hamstring injury. He was placed on the physically unable to perform list, but that was seen as very much a temporary thing. So he missed 4 practices before being cleared. And then upon returning, and he was looking very good on the practice field. In his 7th practice, he sustained a shoulder subluxation and did not practice again for 19 days. Now, last week, he practiced for 3 days leading into the long weekend. And so that's where we are right now. And as I mentioned, 49ers should know a lot more about the football plan for Pearsall on Tuesday. I do know, John Lynch was at the hospital with him Saturday night. He's been visiting with team personnel and all that. So I don't know if he'll be back at the practice facility on Tuesday, but we might have a better idea of what the 49ers envision for Pearsall and what the plan looks for him. I'm assuming we'll be able to speak to a 49ers rep or two, perhaps John Lynch, to kind of figure out what the path is and what the next steps are for the 49ers as they try to figure out what is the best way of moving forward for Pearsall first and foremost, and also the football team. So I'll say this, isn't it a welcome relief that we're now in a position and things are in such a positive state that the focus can shift back to football. So I'm sure a lot more to be said on this subject in the future, but that's where we are now. Also on Monday, a couple of practice squad moves for the 49ers, or one practice squad move. No big surprise. Sam Okwanu, who's a defensive end, made the initial 53, but then the team waived him a day later to make 3 roster additions, guys they were bringing back. So he's back, Okwanu, back on the practice squad, and the team released offensive lineman Sebastian Gutierrez. And watching practice on whatever day that was, Wednesday, I guess it was Wednesday, the starting tackles with the 49ers first team offense were Jalen Moore and Colton McKivitz. The second team, it was Sebastian Gutierrez and Isaac Alarcon, the international practice squad player who the 49ers have an exemption for. That's why they have 17 players on the practice squad. So they're very thin at offensive tackle. 49ers are hoping to get Trent Williams back in the fold soon. They'll have to get a contract details, hammer that out with Trent Williams, and meets his demands, his specifications for what he wants. But certainly that's the big thing now looming out there for the 49ers. The only thing really looming out there, besides obviously Ricky Pearsall's immediate availability and what their plan is for him. But 49ers need to get Trent Williams back in the fold because there is not much depth, if any depth, at the tackle position with Trent Williams not on the team, and with Jalen Moore, who's the team swing tackle, now pretty much locked in to the left tackle position if Trent Williams doesn't return in a hurry. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to this YouTube update, and please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you very much.